I spent $27,393 on Whiteout Survival in 147 days. And man, do I have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight and a bunch of spending to do because we've got a whole bunch of events, more events than I knew was coming up because one of them wasn't even on the calendar until like last minute. We just got an event notice about it. And I got a bunch of stuff in the comments I want to address as well. So let's start getting into some of this stuff and I'll tell you where we're at. The first thing I wanted to point out is that this is a journey I'm documenting. I never claimed to be the best player in the game. I just started playing last Christmas, right? I'm learning a lot from everybody in the community who's trying to help me. I'm trying to be an efficient whale so that I'm trying to focus on maximum power per dollar, permanent power per dollar, not just fluff power like troops. So that's my goal, but it's a goal. I'm gonna fail sometimes. I'm still in the learning process. You're going to give me suggestions and I'm gonna ignore them, not because I did it intentionally, because I had something going on in real life or I just forgot. You know, there's gonna be things like that. So a lot of people are along on this journey with me to either watch the train wreck or to, you know, help me along. You know, I appreciate the people who actually are trying to be supportive and helpful and give me constructive feedback. That is very much appreciated. But, you know, whenever it comes to gameplay or spending or lost opportunities, I'm going to be honest about it too. The only difference is you guys probably made a lot of these mistakes as well, but I'm doing it on camera. I'm just documenting the journey for you. So, you know, I've always said from the beginning, laugh along with me, play along with me, see the spending, you know, take the ride on the journey with me and let's see where this goes, right? And whether it's because you think that this is a train wreck or not, that's up to you. But I'm trying to evolve. Trust me, I'm trying to evolve. Let me talk about some of the mistakes I made yesterday. First of all, I was so, you know, enthralled or, you know, focused on getting this gear to plus 100 and worried about what's going on with power in the state, the other whales' power. I spent mithril yesterday that I really shouldn't have. And if I was going to spend it, what I should have done is waited for today in Alliance Showdown so that I could have got mithril points for Alliance Showdown as well as armament competition. So I only got it for armament competition yesterday. You know, it wasn't a lot of mithril, so I wasn't super worried about it. And I did just spend on an event where I bought some mithril. So it wasn't my best moment though. I think I missed an opportunity. I had a date night with my wife, you see, and I was trying to kind of rush through things. I didn't look at the events carefully. I didn't plan the session carefully. And not that I planned tonight's session carefully because there's too many events going on. I'm just gonna kind of wing it. We're gonna go through some stuff together and I'm gonna edit after the fact. So let's see, that's one mistake I made yesterday. The second mistake, well, I don't know if this is a mistake. I didn't make this mistake yet. So if we look at the shop here, the Silver Frost shop here, because this isn't even an event really. You just buy the silver shells daily. So you just buy these silver shells daily up to whatever you want to get. There is a critical flaw I made in analysis though. Like, while it is true that this is a cool city skin and I would like to have it, and there are some things I'm going to do that are just, I'm still playing the game and trying to enjoy the game, right? So there is things like that. But when it comes to efficiency, I made a comment about not really liking these teleport skins. And it really doesn't even matter. I mean, look at the cost for the teleport skin compared to the city. We've got 400 silver shells for a 2% lethality bump. And not that this is the best way to get a 2% lethality bump anyways, but if you're going to spend something to get a lethality bump, like the teleport skins actually have, not this one, where is it? Here. The teleport skins actually have, you know, 2% lethality bump across all troops, essentially. That's a pretty nice bump. And it's only 400 silver shells compared to 3,000 silver shells for this city skin. And that only gives you a 2% troops attack. So I don't know, man. You know, you look at it, I'm talking about being an efficient whale. You look at the cost of power per dollar, and certainly the teleport skins are worth taking a look at. I already bought this for the mithril, and so I already took care of that because I wanted to make sure I didn't mess that up. But I don't know. It's got me rethinking. As much as I really do want this city skin, this is kind of like, you know, this is just like, I don't know, cosmetic, right? This is something I think would be cool and fun to have in the game. You have to enjoy playing the game as well, but look at the cost associated with that. That's going to be like $288 if my math was right, just to get that one city skin. And I could, you know, I think that's like something like I can get 7 of these other things for the same price. So, you know, I might still get the city skin, but it's got me looking at it a second time now. So that's another kind of mistake I made. But let's just grab this up to while I'm in here, I'm talking about it. I said I was going to grab this up to the $50 mark every day. And like I said, there's a lot of events going on, so I can't help but the fact that I'm going to be doing a bunch of spending. Because this shop, as far as I can tell, everything in the shop that I've done the math on is like really pretty good value. I mean, maybe not some of the best value in the game like you guys are telling me some of the other events are, but it's actually pretty good value. The only question is what to spend it on. So I think I have to do myself and my fans a favor here and do the efficiency thing. Like, this is 400 silver shells for, you know, that 2% lethality. That is the right play there. So let's convert that now. Where's that in the backpack? Where'd it go? Here we go. What is this? I forgot about this. What is that? These are all permanent. It's just a matter of which one. I forgot. I don't know if this came from this event or another one. I didn't even know this was in my backpack. Let's see. Well, I'm not gonna look like Bob the Builder with a wig. I guess I'll just take this one, and I probably will never equip it. All right, and then we have this teleport skin here. All right, so let's take a look at those skins, and we'll go to the teleport skins first and just make sure we use it, not equip it. I don't need to equip it. I still like my sword here, Sword of Ice, but just use it. That way we get the plus 2%. And we do have Foundry coming up this weekend, so that'll be handy. And then we'll take this new frame here, this Artisan frame, and use it just so I get that 2% defense. So that's a nice bump there. And is that all the skins? Yeah, the city skins. I don't have any more permanent skins. So I think that's all we had to do there. And so that took care of those two things. Now these I already have, so I don't need to worry about the island decorations. And the only question now is, what do I go for next? And I think the first thing I'll do is just take care of these daily limit items here, because those are actually, you know, again, pretty good deals. And now it's just a matter of extracting maximum value out of this thing. So I think I do want to try to go for that city skin still. That's just a cosmetic thing. I kind of like it. And I think I will go for this wind charger as well, or this goes along with that city skin, I believe. So I'll grab one of these, and then I'll unlock that March skin. Let's see, where'd you go? Over here. And we'll grab it for this. There we go. And so now, really the only cosmetic thing left, I mean, you can argue that that was cosmetic, but it does help with Beast Day to have the March improvement. So the only cosmetic thing I have left to do is that city skin, and that's gonna, you know, it's gonna cost a bunch to get there. But that'll be nice to have as kind of like just something fun to have on the account. But I'll wait for that one and see how much I need to spend. I think spending up to the $50 mark a day for 3 days will get me there. Maybe not and then some. I don't think it'll get me there and then some, but maybe just a little bit extra. And I'll continue to do the daily stuff. So that's kind of where we're at with the Dream Miracle. That's just kind of a spend, but it's as far as I can tell, everything there is actually a good deal. All right, now while I'm on the tangent of things that I screwed up yesterday, let me show you one that I did not screw up. I've got a lot of comments about I'm playing Mia's Fortune Hunt wrong. I urge you, go if you haven't heard of Tone before, Ton, he's another content creator. I just talked to him today. There's a couple people who've done simulations at this point. 2 different people have done simulations, maybe even more. The optimal strategy is actually to keep playing until you get the prize you're going for. And I can't go through all the simulations with you. You'll have to look that up on the Discord, but you'll see that what happens is as you go higher and higher, what tends to happen is your chances of getting what you want are higher and higher. And just spending tickets to throw that all away when you're getting increased odds of getting your prize actually works against you. So stop telling me about this technique of going to 5 and reset and blah, blah, blah. No, please, you go educate yourself. Go look at these simulations and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It'll be clear as day when you see it in the table there. I don't want to recreate his content or show what he's shown. Actually, he's got a great video on it. So you could go check that out or go to the Discord. You'll see the table there in the Discord showing the simulation results and why it's the optimal play to just keep on going until you get the reward you're trying to get. The other thing, though, where I did make a mistake, I don't know if this is a mistake or not. Like I said, sometimes on the account, you're going to do things that are needed at a certain moment in the game. And I felt like I needed more essence stones yesterday. So that's what I got. But it's a good point that you do Mia's Fortune Hunt for fire crystals. Really, that's the best thing you're supposed to be doing here. And I really should have just stuck with fire crystals. So that's what I've got queued up here. And while I'm in here talking about this, let's take care of this one. So Mia's Fortune Hunt, I'm also going to do. I don't think I need to do this up to 50, but I'm going to because the grind for fire crystals is real. And, I will get some more throughout the day through the daily missions, but the grind for fire crystals is real. I think I'm not going to have a problem, even if I just only went to the $20 mark. I wouldn't have a problem opening up this last chest here. But I want to continue that progression of trying to get the fire crystals. So let's see if we can get some. Let's see how the luck is tonight. Seems like the prize is wherever I don't touch. So I got a 50-50 chance now of getting X2 on the fire crystal. So let's see if I can land it. Nope. Man. All right, let's try again. Here we go. Oh. Hey, all right, I got it. All right. Let's open up this bad boy. That's another 100 fire crystals right there. Oh, we got an X4 and an X2 on the board. Let's see what happens. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, man. Come on. Give me one good hit, will you? Just one. No. All right. Oh, man. I almost clicked that one, too. And again, for those of you who put all those comments yesterday, seeing me play Mia's Fortune Hunt wrong was killing you, please go check out the simulation. You'll see why this is actually the optimal strategy. 1 in 3 chance of X2. No, not the one I wanted. All right, come on. Come on, man. Oh. I have a knack for finding where the fire crystals are not. Actually, there's a bunch on the board this time, so. All right, that wasn't too bad. Here we go again. So basically the strategy says, don't play the board unless you have 96 tickets because that's how many you need to clear the board. And if you get halfway in and you can't clear the board, you've wasted all those tickets. On the very moment that the odds are in your favor, you can't finish off the board. So make sure that you don't play it until you have 96 tickets. That's basically the strategy. Here we go. Looks like you got about 2 more rounds. And then I'll save whatever I have, unless I get up to 96 tickets by the reset from the standard daily stuff. Man. My luck in me is just not great. All right, last one. Here we go. All right. Not horrible. All right. Next round is free, and I'll just leave it there. Because if I start playing stuff, then I'll, basically use tickets that I can't finish off. So that's where I'm going to leave Mia's Fortune Hut. Picked up a bunch of fire crystals from that, so that's nice. Nice score. Let's just clear these out while I'm in here. Somebody asked yesterday while I'm clearing this out, somebody asked why I stutter so much. I don't stutter. My brain works faster than my mouth sometimes. So occasionally you'll hear me like stopping and restarting because I've kind of overcommitted myself in the middle of a sentence. And then I don't have a way out of it other than, repeating myself. So that's what's going on there. Let's take a look at Deadshot. Here we go. It's just wrong. It's what Deadshot does to me is a violation of my rights at this point. It's just wrong. Do you feel me? If you've been watching my content and you've seen my Deadshot play, you know that this is wrong. I don't know how I do this in Deadshot so consistently, but it's just absolutely wrong. I don't know what is going on with Deadshot. Deadshot absolutely hates me. All right, that's the deals section. So let's check out the standard section quickly. I'm still gonna skip on Artisan's Trove for today. Dawn Market, I've been pressing hero gear, and it just gets expensive. And I'm spending a bunch tonight. I am gonna buy this for the hero gear. This comes with components, like this is the thing. This isn't the best deal for getting, hero gear because you get a mix of components and mythic, or, the lucky hero gear chests, which give you the mythic. But it's not a bad spend in the grand scheme of things if you're trying to push your hero gear. It's maybe not the best in the game, but you do get gems with it, you do get VIP with it, and you do get the components, which are like an immediate grab. So on the value of the components, it's actually a pretty good deal. On the value of lucky hero gear chests, maybe not so much, but it is offset by the gems and the components. So it's really not that bad a deal. I'm going to hold off on doing anything more with this. I'll take my daily deals. See if I get lucky here. Nope, not really. And do my claims, and we'll get out of here. So there is a new event tonight, but before I do that, let's kind of do this in a little bit of reverse order here that I normally do. I'll clear out the things I just accumulated here. Let's see if I get lucky on this. No, 5 is usually what you're going to get out of that. And then let's take a look. I'll clear these out. Put those in, put the VIP in the bank. And see what I get out of here. Not a lot. All right. And that's the hero gear, but there is something I'm doing on the hero gear. Basically, I'm now focused on getting Alonzo up a little bit. And there is, I don't know, you can keep going crazy over what's the proper order of things, but, essentially, if I push the belt further, you are getting infantry health stats, but you're not getting much else. You're getting, attack. Basically, that all the defense bonus I'm going to get is at plus 60. So I just I don't think I should be prioritizing that right now. And if I did want to prioritize anything, it would be the boots to get the boots up to plus 100, or the goggles to get them up to plus 60 so I can get the 30% bonuses there. But that's not the synergistic, move to make, because you're just bumping infantry lethality. So I personally feel that the next best move for me to make is actually pushing the marksman gear higher. And I've been focusing, I think I've decided to focus on the boots, because the boots will give me the plus 60 sooner. And, you know, I basically just got these both to plus 25. And then if I press getting this to plus 60 sooner, then it'll, you know, this will give me better bear scores. It'll give me better attack damage. So that's the plan I'm going with right now, is trying to get that bumped up. And I did just do a bunch of spending tonight, so we could push that up a couple levels there. And that'll be well on its way. So that's what we did with all that gear spending tonight, and that's basically my focus is going to be, is trying to get, you know, the boots up to plus 60 so I can get that bonus on the marksman attack there sooner. And then I think the next move is try to get this up to plus 100 so I can get the plus 50% on the plus 100 marksman attack. And doing those two things, you're also, it's kind of synergistic to the gear, because the marksman lethality is going up the whole time you're doing that. So that's kind of, I think, what my plan is going to be on that right now. Now I'm going to do this in a little bit of reverse order. I'm going to go check out the VIP first, because we have this other game that I want to kind of study with you. And I'm not going to do much with VIP tonight anyway. So that's how much VIP points I got going on right now. 326,000. I'm going to continue spending this week. And once we get that up to probably 1 million again or so, then I'll do another spinning session, but not until then. I'll save that for a day that there's not a lot else going on. So that's the VIP section. And then we've got Labyrinth as well. I'll tell you, there is something I did make a decision on. I'm not going to worry so much about power really here. There is, like I said, there are people pressing power in the state. You know, I hope we're working together as a state anyways. And honestly, if he ends up, you know, if any of the other whales, we have like 3, well, I guess 3 of us in total that are really have the potential to press some power, but we have transfers coming up too. We might pull in more people as well. Like, it just takes the pressure off me. We're a big team working together. So whoever happens to have the right stats, that's your job to help with Castle, right? So I'm going to focus on the mission I set out to do originally, which was to try to spend efficiently for power. I'm going to focus on having fun with my account and sharing with you what I'm doing and what I'm learning and how I'm playing. And that's going to be my focus. And if somebody else outspends me or, you know, outwhales me, it's that this is the game. It's going to happen, right? Like, if you got more money than me or more time than me, or you've been around in the game longer than me, you know, I'm going to meet bigger whales. It's just the way it goes. There's a lot of people in states right around us that are like very near when we started the game and have like double my hero power and stuff. So they're spending a lot more than what I'm spending on. But, you know, we'll get there. We'll get there and try to do it as efficiently as possible. That's my goal here. So since I have so much other content with this last game, I'm not going to focus on anything else on the account tonight other than this last game. So let's go check that out. So this game is called Spectral Ice Shack. And I did the kind of intro. The slush station is the big game here, and I did a little intro. I'll show you how it works, and I did a little math on it. But let me come back around to the math. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unlock these rewards, because these rewards, you know, look at the percentage on this, and if you like look at all the rewards you're getting from it, these are pretty good rewards ultimately, I think. So I think it's worth it. To me, it's actually kind of like a no-brainer. It's a gimme. Like, of course I'm going to unlock that with the amount of money I'm spending on other things on the account. And then we'll do the daily missions. I didn't grind these all out today because I was doing other stuff, but I'll continue doing that to get these little vivid jam jars, and I'll show you what those are used for. If you're already playing the game, you probably know. And then we look at the shaved ice stall. So if I did my math correctly, it's something like, well, it's hard to do the math on this one, I think. At least I haven't done it fully. I've only had one chance at going through this. If you look at the stats of what happens here, essentially what happens is the first few rounds are kind of easier just to get you into the game, like an intro to the game, and you don't have that many jars. It's kind of like one of those games where you have to get things in the right order, but then you know what mistakes you made, and so that you can have more chances. So it turns out to be that the number of times it should take you to do that is the number of jars that are present, but the number of jars you need to do it, the way this game is set up, is progressively more. So like 6 jars would take, if I did the math right, 21 jars. Sorry, yeah, getting 6 jars lined up in the correct order should take a maximum of 21 jars. Now you can get more lucky than that and not need all 21, but now I'm not even going to say on average. The maximum worst case it would take you would be 21 jars. So it's a progression basically. It's going to take you more and more jars. So what I think is going to happen, and I've only played the first couple intro levels here, we're going to find out together, as I think is as you go up, we're going to get more and more jars, because what they do is by the time you get to 8 here, and I don't know if this is the number of jars necessarily, and it's going to max out at something. But by the time you get up to 8, you're maxed out at 3,600 of these Vivid vouchers, and those are what's used in the shop. So, and if you look at the conversion of, you know, how much it costs you to buy jars to the reward you get for the level, you know, this is where the math gets a little funky. You have to make some assumptions, and it's going to be luck based and all this type of stuff. So I think this actually turns out to be pretty good deals here. But if we look at how much the jars cost, so essentially if we add all this up, it would essentially be 270 jars. If I bought up to the $50 mark every day, it'd be 270 jars divided by $89. That's basically 3 jars per dollar. So it's going to cost you 3 jars per dollar. And if it gets up to the point where it's like the 6 jars, I don't know if it's going to go worse than that. We're going to find out. But let's say it goes up to 8 jars per dollar. If that's the way that progression scales on the rewards, that would require 36 jars. So look at that evenly divisible number there. 36 jars, and you get 3,600 Vivid vouchers for them. So what that tells me is that's a ratio of like 100 vouchers per jar is what they're kind of estimating there. You can get lucky though, and you can complete it sooner than that. But 36 or 100 vouchers per jar is basically what you're getting. And so you're getting 100 vouchers per jar, and you get 3 jars per dollar. So that's 300 vouchers per dollar, right? So if I'm doing my math right, this fire crystal deal is actually turning out to be something more like 6 fire crystals per dollar. So that's not a great value, actually. It's kind of just standard. And these charm designs end up being something like 2.4 per dollar. So, you know, actually some of these deals are just standard, so to speak. But, you know, the fact that you can get the charm designs for in bulk here, you can get 400 of them ultimately. That's probably a good deal because they're difficult to get otherwise. So maybe that's what I'm going to do here is play this for the charm designs. Now I see that these are labeled as hot. I don't actually know why, because these aren't the best deals, I don't think. Tell you what, I'm going to play this game anyways because the charm designs are in here, but I think that's where we're going here. I think this is basically, we got charm designs, fire crystals, and chief gear in here. We got some components in here too, but there's better ways to get that. So essentially that's what we got in this shop. And to me, getting this bulk amount of charm designs is where it's at. Tell me if you disagree, but I'm gonna play this game a little bit, have a little fun with it, and let's see where it goes. Oh, and I forgot to mention the milestone rewards. So the milestone rewards tend to be pretty good as well. It's basically chief gear and fire crystals, but if we can get up to 700, you know, that's quite a bit. And that's just a function of how, as far as I know, it's a function of how many jars you use, how many jars of Vivid Jam you use. So that's just going to be how many you end up buying ultimately, or, you know, getting them through the daily missions and stuff. So, and then there's a Vivid Winter Party event. What is that one again? Oh, that's this one here. That's the progression that you get some more jars through this as well. So you're going to get most of your jars by buying them. So I decided I'm going to buy this up to the $50 mark a day. Let's now play the game. Let's see how this works. So essentially, I don't know that there's an optimal strategy here, because essentially you just got to get lucky. And as far as I'm concerned, if you just place them all up there, you're going to see what's right and what's wrong. And so now I know I gotta switch up. You know, just don't put them in the same order again. And then you'll see, no, I don't want to do that. So I'll put them in any order that none of them repeat. And I got a little lucky on that one. All right. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. Just put them up there in any old order. Well, that got really lucky. And then you see what's off. And all right, now we're up to 5. If I'm not mistaken, this has got to go to 8. And look at this. Look what else they did to you now. They're all the same color. So is that just a lucky one? What's the lucky order? They said, let's look at these rules again. The rule details. let's see, you can freely adjust position prior to placing the last one. You can also earn total consumption awards, tallying stages. Okay, stages. Complete all standard orders to gain special order stages. On special order stages, allow you to apply a custom multiplier to the number of Vivid Gems used on each attempt, with the same multiplier also applying to the number of Vivid vouchers earned. So you'll get a chance to multiply. So I might actually be able to get a lot more. Look at this, it goes all the way up to 20x sometimes. The custom multiplier available to you is determined by the number of Vivid Gems you currently have. Interesting. So the more Vivid Gems you have, the better you do. All right, we'll just essentially swap them and see what we got. Wow. All right. So now we'll go completely different. All right. And then we just have to swap these two. And remember, I started out with, I think it was 319. And nice. This purple and blue is a little bit hard for me to distinguish because of my RG color deficiency, but I think I can barely make it out. Okay, that wasn't good. Let's try it completely backwards. Okay. All right, well, so we know this one can't be purple or yellow. So I'll go with the maybe green over here. This one can't be those two, so I'll go here. This one, go here, and then like this. All right, slowly but surely. So we'll try putting blue there. Green here. Red here. Yellow there. All right. So actually my math was off because I thought it was going to go to 8 jars. So this is going to use substantially less. The worst jars this will use is 21 based on 6. So if it stays at 6, the worst number of jars per turn you can use, I think, is 21. Let's just do, let's see. Well, that wasn't it. So that means red must be over there, and green must be here, yellow must be there. Well, this looks like a gimme round. So maybe I don't need to go to 50 per day on this one, actually. Let's just give it a shot, see what happens. All right, let's see. You know, as an algorithm, that's probably not a horrible algorithm to just go frontwards and then backwards as your first 2 tries. Let's try that. We'll start with front. Oh. And then we'll go the complete opposite. Oh, can't do it there. Yeah, that's not going to always work. All right, not the best algorithm. Let's see. So we know the pink or whatever has to be in one of those 2 spots. And we know yellow has to be in one of those, so I guess we'll start with yellow here. And how about that? All right, getting closer. So this can't be green or yellow, so that must be the pink one. And this can't be green. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Wow. All right. So green has to be on one of the ends. Is that the right color? No, that's the same color. Can't do that one. And those two colors are over there already. So try putting these over here, this guy here, and this guy here. All right. The two colors I'm having trouble seeing. All right. This is taking a little while. I bought a lot of jars, didn't I? Oh boy. Let's see. Try it like this. All right. This is a little bit of a strange one. Oh, but it turned out my luck was all right. So another way of thinking about this game as I'm playing it, how many jars does it take you? So this took me 6 jars for the initial, and now because I got lucky, it only took me 2 more jars. So it only took me 8 jars to clear this when it could possibly take up to 21. So see, as we put the jars up, you can see the number going down. Oh, hello. Go backwards. All right, now we got a little bit of a map to play with. Say, try green over here. We'll try red over here. Yellow over here. All right, good instincts. All right, well, whenever that happens, I'm just going to go the complete opposite direction. And then we'll try yellow over here. Where's blue? Blue, pink, purple. Nope, I got the wrong ones. Is that okay? Purple. Try it that way. All right. At least the game is nice enough to point that out to you. Here we go. Well, this is turning into substantially more than I thought between these gimme rounds like this, or they just give it to you for free every now and then. It's not free. It still costs you 6 jars. But that's like basically the bare minimum. And then you get lucky a little bit every now and then. And it didn't go to 8 like I thought it was going to go. So it tops off at 6. So between a little bit of luck and topping off at 6, these are actually going a lot farther than I thought. That also changes the math a little bit. So let's revisit that when I'm done. You're not kidding me, sister. Let's see. Let's try it this way. Hey, all right. Right. I wonder if there's a max of how many rewards you can get. It goes up to 30. So you can't, it looks like you can't get any more than 30. And was the 30? Yeah, no special. It just tops off at 3,600 also. Let's see. So that has to be that. That's right. All right. Oh, there's a purple in there. Let's see. Blue. All right. For those of you still hanging out with me, appreciate it. This is kind of like a casual hang here. It's kind of a chill vibe with this music in the background. But we'll do a little math in a minute. All right, let's see. So this can only, let's see. This second one can only be probably yellow, or is that blue? Purple. That's purple. So let's try it like this. Like this. And this. And this. Wow. All right. Let's try it in the exact opposite order. There we go. All right, we only got 4 more jars left, so that's not enough to do the board. So I'll just sit on that for a second. But let's do a little math here. 6 turns means 21 jars, basically. So the 3 jars per dollar still holds, but now 3,600 divided by 21 jars means you'll get 171, vouchers per dollar, essentially. All right, so if I'm doing my math right now, we've got still the 3 jars per dollar doesn't change, but that can change if you don't spend all the way up to 50. It can be a little bit worse if you go to 100. It can be a little bit better if you go under 100. So that's 3 jars per dollar. And then we've got 3,600 vouchers per 21 jars. And again, that can be a little bit better if your luck is a little better. So this is kind of like worst case scenario here, analysis. So that means, if I'm doing my math right, that's 514 vouchers per dollar. So now if we come over into, and let me just claim these, and this doesn't include the milestone rewards as far as value as well. But if we come into the shop now, and we look at these items with a new idea here, 514 vouchers per dollar, that means this 250 is actually like 50 cents. So if we take 514 or 250 divided by 514, that's 0.48, and then 5 divided by 0.48, roughly speaking, that's more like 10.5 something, 10.4, 10.5 fire crystals per dollar. So now that's looking a lot better. So that math actually makes me think there is some value to be had here. And then if we look, still my analysis of what is the best though, I think is still the charm designs. That the value on the fire crystal isn't crazy, but I see that there's value there. And the charm designs, 125 divided by 514, is 0.24. So that's actually looking to be a lot better value now. So, and if we do the math on, how much charm designs usually cost, I don't know, I don't have that other thing up, but, the other packs and stuff up, but for some reason, I think that's actually pretty good value. So I think that's going to be my play, but I'm going to hold off on these vouchers because this is a brand new game. I'm going to wait to see the comments. I'm going to wait to see if other people think that I've done my math right. This is random chance based math. There's going to be a range here. Like I just picked one kind of straight lane and assumed you don't get lucky, assumed worst case scenarios, and assumed you're spending $50 all the time. The value will get better if you're spending less and if you get lucky. So mix and match those two things, and the value can even be better than what I just said. So to me, this actually looks like it's a pretty darn good shop. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. If you stuck with me this long, thank you very much for hanging out there and doing a little math with me and playing the little game with me. But if you want to continue to see this journey and see how the spending goes, see how my growth goes, and see how I develop as a player and evolve, you got to help me out by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and then turning on notifications. That way, whenever I go live, you'll be the first to know about it. Thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, I'll see you later.